weight safety. The topic everybody loves hearing about on Facebook, but nobody wants to talk about in person. All right, who's got a cell phone on? Okay, if your phone rings, I get to answer it. Come on, it's only fair. You ever heard of Ray's Meat Market? No?
You raise it and market it?
That's right. And Roadkill Cafe, you kill it, you grill it. I did that to my mom like 7 times in a row. She kept calling back thinking she had the wrong number. Not realizing in her phone it was my name she kept calling. Oh, I know. The way I figure it is if you gotta screw with them, if they're gonna fall for it. All right, let's just jump right in here. Who needs to get weighed? Anybody know? Everyone probably needs to get weighed. Anybody seen all those posts recently on Facebook? The latest drama that's going around the last 6 months or so?
Flex.
That frame flex. Anybody concerned about that? Raise your hand if you got any concerns with that. See, nobody does. They know my seminars. Do you know how many people, I put it out there, we carry scales with us. Take a guess how many people have actually taken me up on it when they raise their hand and go, well, yeah, it's a concern. Great. We got the scales here. Go to Jarvie. Right now, let's find out if it's a problem or if you are the problem. Guess how many people's taking me up on that? Exactly. None. Everybody loves getting on Facebook and going, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Great. Did you cause that? Did you flip the switch? Anybody ever gone out and got one of the RVs and then complained afterwards that you can't put everything in it? Those are always great. Somebody goes and buys an Imagine and they go, oh Christ, I can't take my house with us. No. If you want a momentum, do not buy an Imagine. Look at all the numbers. You'll be amazed at how many people will go get a Solitude and go, oh God, I can't put everything in there. Well, Solitude's got a 2,400 pound payload. Momentum's got 3,800 pounds. You want to put 3,800 pounds in, you don't buy something with a 2,400 pound one. So far, right now, our biggest percentage-wise of overweight that we've had was an Imagine down in Quartzsite. Take a guess, just weight-wise, how much overweight they were. Not even close. Keep going. Yep, keep going. Had an Imagine, I believe it was a 22. Yeah, it wasn't the smallest one, but it was the second to smallest. 2,800 pounds overweight on an Imagine. Percentage-wise, that's like putting a tank in your momentum. They opened that door, it was an episode of Hoarders. Top to ceiling of everything. As we're looking at it, you know, with the front ends on the A-frame, for the framework, they come in and they go up to the ball. Both sides of that was bowing out. We had to go get the techs on there. The recommendation was you need to find a dealer or a very good welder today. So they had to go get their RV looked at. So everyone needs to get weighed. It's really important. It's one of those things nobody really wants to talk about unless the uproar comes. And everybody, oh, no, I don't want to know what I weigh. It's just not a good thing, right? You know what it is? You get pulled over, oh, I don't want to know what I weigh because the cop's going to ask me. I'll get a ticket. What's going to happen when you cream a family of 4?
Exactly.
You think those lawyers are going to find out what you weigh? They're digging, and they will find out what you do. All right, what do you need to get weighed? So the RV as you're normally traveling. If you want to have some fun, the next time you hear a Frame Flex post on Facebook, you ever notice they never post a weight ticket? None of them will. The ones that bitch and whine the most will never go, I caused this. Ask them to. What do you weigh? And then go, when you're weighing, I want you to take a video, not only of your weight ticket, show me what's in your RV. Don't go weigh your RV after you just spent 3 weeks taking everything out of it so that you can get on Facebook and go, yee bullshit. Take a guess how many RVs are overweight on average?
75.
Pretty close. Since we've been weighing, 51% of the RVs that we have weighed were overweight. How many RVs we got at this rally?
92.
So 92, 51% on average are sitting out there overweight. There's one of them out there, I would bet my truck on it, they're overweight. That one I know for sure. I doubt they're gonna come across the scale because they probably don't want to. But that's a statistic waiting to happen. So we're gonna go through a whole bunch of stuff on here on weight, all weight related. So your tow vehicles, you wanna get it as normal. What is normal? What would you guys consider normal on your tow vehicle and your trailer when you're going down the road? What is a normal weight?
Full tank of passengers.
Yeah. Passengers, you got your wife in there, maybe your girlfriend, not a good idea to have both at once. Guaranteed you're gonna need a divider in there. Whatever you normally would travel with, if you take your dogs with you, that's normal. So if you go across the scale and you're all by yourself with a quarter tank of fuel, that's not normal. Nobody leaves town going, I'm screwed as soon as I get to the next city. Fill that truck up. Put the dogs, the cats, when you come across. Anybody gonna get weighed this weekend?
Going to?
Yep, going to. So before you even come over to the scales, we're doing the trucks tomorrow. Make sure you got a full tank of fuel, because that's what you normally will weigh in. We want worst case scenario. Anybody go to Quartzsite? Quartzsite, Arizona. This is cold. It's only 102 out there. That's cold. So if you go to Quartzsite, there's not many hookups unless you're going to one of the parks. If you go out in the desert, well, guess what? You got to take that water with you. Anybody got a Momentum? 150 gallon tank? 8.3 pounds a gallon. You don't want to go out in the middle of the desert with 3 gallons. You're going to fill that up. Go across the scale. Find out what your RV weighs when you have all that weight in there. You're going to be overweight when you do that, guarantee it. There's not a single toy hauler out there when you put everything in there and you fill the tanks underweight. Not happening. They're all going to be overweight at that point. All right, easiest way, when you want to get weighed, when you first buy it. As soon as you hook up at the dealership, before you even put a pair of socks in there, go get it weighed. Find your baseline. Where most people will get in trouble is they buy the RV, they take it back to the house, and they put everything in that RV. The stuff they need, the stuff they might need, the stuff they never will use in their life. Anybody carried around a saw for 10 years? I'm the only one. Little teeny hacksaw. It only weighed 2 pounds. I bought it when I first did because somebody said you might go somewhere where you need to trim a tree. I put it in a silent auction at the last rally. It had never been used. But I carried it because I needed it. I didn't know what the weights were. So when you get that RV, go find out what that weight is. Put in the bare essentials. If you're only a weekend warrior, who needs 47 shirts, 8 tank tops, 6 pairs of shorts, but only 3 pairs of underwear? If you're just a weekend warrior, you're gonna go out, you need 4 or 5 shirts, put what you have in there. Your average food. Who fills up their refrigerator when they're gonna go out for 2 days? Put what you normally will put in there. Go find out what it weighs. Then start putting in what is more essentials, the stuff you really need. Couple little tools. Anybody got a 3-car garage? We're gonna pick on the guys here for a second. Don't worry, ladies, you're next. All right. Who's got a Snap-on toolbox? Craftsman? Similar? Weighs like 3 pounds, doesn't it? How many of you take all your tools with you? Because you gotta tear the world apart. You know what you need for one of these RVs? A number 10 socket and a number 2 square head doohickey. Remember, brain fart on it. The number 2 square head screwdriver. That's what pretty much will tear apart your entire RV. Especially that number 2. Every screw you look in that RV, whether it's in your cabinets, in the walls, holding the body together, holding your ladder onto it, is a number 2 square head. I've got a 210-piece set. It weighs about 8 pounds. You know how many of those tools I've used in that one? 2. Just that one. Even a Phillips screwdriver. Who carries a Phillips screwdriver with them? Do you know what the nickname is of a Phillips screwdriver? It works in Vegas because it's a stripper. Every time you get one of them, you go, oh, and crap. So you push harder and you just keep stripping that thing out. Use a number 2, you put it in there, it locks right in, you can get it right out. So you only need one. You don't even need a Phillips screwdriver. Do you know what a standard screwdriver is used for in an RV? Breaking into the guy's RV next to you. Here we go! He's got a better TV than I do. So look at the tools when you're actually going out there and what you need. Most people do not need everything. Who's got an impact wrench they take with them? The 3/8 or the 1/2 inch? The 1/2 inch? What do you use that for?
Or if I had any problem with lug nuts or, getting a part off.
That's about the only time it's lug nuts.
Yeah.
What size socket do you need for a lug nut?
I've got all the sockets, I think I know which one it is, but I don't know the trailer there.
Do you carry the whole set or just the socket?
Usually just the socket.
See, that's the way you should go. Because all the rest of them that are in that set, you don't need. There is nothing on your RV that you're going to need that weight to carry for. So get your RV right from the get-go. Find out what you need.
Can you move on?
What?
Can you move on off of the tools?
I see we have an example here. Yeah. All right, so we picked on the guys for a second, so now we got to pick on the ladies here. Yeah, they probably know where this is going. How many sets of shoes do you carry? And be honest, because I've seen some of the trailers. Are you sure? Only 2?
And we tennis shoes, we have flip-flops.
Really?
That's it.
You're the new poster child. We had down in Courtside, guys, well, you gotta have more. What for? Well, if I'm out here, I got my flip-flops. If it's a little bit red, I'm gonna have my Crocs. If I need to go to the store, I'm gonna wear my tennis shoes. But if I'm going to a better store, tennis shoes don't do good, I gotta have the semi-dress shoes. Every once in a while, we're gonna go to a restaurant, it's McDonald's, tennis shoes does fine, but we go to a fancy restaurant, well, the tennis shoes don't even do fine. Gotta have dress shoes. Oh yeah, and she was justifying all of it. Okay, well you got all these shoes, but you gotta get rid of some weight. One thing's gonna go, it's either the shoes or you. Okay? Husband's gonna drive the RV, so he's gonna enjoy it. So find out what you actually need and start putting that in. Then if you need more, go buy a bigger RV. All right, where do you need to go get weight? Anybody know that one? Without reading up here. See, this is a cheat sheet. You know why I do this? Because I forget crap. The best place to go get weighed, come to Rally Warehouse. We got the scales with us. We can find out what you weigh. When we do ours, we're individual point. Every point of your RV and your truck that touches the ground, you're gonna get that weight. Total weights, axle weights, wheel weights. You're gonna know what every piece of your physical property that you have taken down the road is gonna weigh on the ground. Anybody heard of cat scales?
Yep.
Go to a cat scale. They're not gonna give you the information that you're gonna get here with ours. They're gonna do per axle. You're gonna find out what your front axle are, your drive axle, and your trailer axle. Take cat scales with a grain of salt. Anybody want to know why? Because I even stumped the grand design on this. I made 12,000 pounds disappear on their scales. The front end of my truck, I was able to get a weight ticket showing it did not have a weight on it, even though there was 12,000 pounds sitting on that pad, just by where I put the wheels on the pad. Putting them right in the center, I got a certain weight. Moved it to the front, a little bit less weight. Moved it all the way to the very back. It transferred the weight from that pad to the second pad that nothing was on, and those pads aren't supposed to be connected. But the front pad, where my 2 wheels were showing 11,900 pounds, showed 0. Take those with a grain of salt. You go over them, you're basically only looking at just the total weights on there. They're usually relatively accurate, but where you go on those, it will change.
Oregon State leaves their weigh scales on, so if the weigh stations are closed, you can typically pull in and use their scales.
Yeah, just pull right into their scales. Anybody gone into the scales while they're open? I have. I drive with a semi though. So when I first bought that truck, it was a commercial truck. It was titled commercial. It's not the intent of what the vehicle is, even though I used to pull an RV. Doesn't matter in the lives of the Department of Transportation in any state. It's what it is titled as As a commercial truck, I was technically supposed to go in every weight scale. I went in two just to see what it's like, one in California, one in Arizona. It was kind of fun. I know the guy behind that mirrored booth was just like, go away, you dumbass. All right, I just want to see what I did for it. Now it's titled as a motorhome in South Dakota. Motorhomes in South Dakota, you don't have to have a special license for it. So you can go from a Prius to a 70-foot Volvo really easy. And legal. But now that it's a motorhome, I don't even have to go through those scales anymore. So, why do you need to get a weight? Manufacturer is going to specify what your RV can weigh, what your cargo can put in there. So you get a Solitude, and it says, well, you can put 2,400 pounds in there. Right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever you think. If you put 4,800 pounds in there and something goes haywire, whose fault is it? They told you only put 2,400 pounds in there. If you put more weight in there, you're the one that did it. If you want to carry 3,800 pounds of weight, go get an RV that can carry 3,800 pounds of weight. It's going to be a little bit more limited if you want 4 couches. Probably not going to find that in a Joyhauling. So find what is appropriate to what you're going to be doing. How about your warranty work? Anybody taken their RV to Grand Design at their actual service center in Indiana anytime in the last 2 years? They weighed your RV, didn't they?
Yep.
Weight has been such a big issue, they don't work on any RV until it hits their scales that are inside of that building. They pull it outside, they pull it inside. If you're in there for something weight related, you might get that call a half an hour later saying, come pick your RV. And you're like, wow, that was fast. And they're like, sure was. Because you're overweight. That did happen when we were out there. We were sitting there, we weren't in for the work, but the guy next to us was, family of 5 in a reflection. I believe it was a 303. Yeah, family of 5, living full time, a 303. You don't think they carry a lot of stuff. Their RV went in the morning to get it, about 2 hours later, here comes the RV, and I'm like, wow, that was quick. They show back up. Grand Design said, nope, your RV is 1,700 pounds overweight. Get rid of the weight, come on back. So now they had to come back. And theirs was the frame. Most frames are supposed to have a smile. Theirs was starting to frown. So it was going to get worse the longer they did it. But as long as you got that weight in there, there's no point trying to fix it. In 6 months, it's going to do it again. It's probably going to do it worse. You need to correct the problem, not put a Band-Aid on it. Vehicle damage. Anybody seen those posts on Facebook about it? Oh, my tires blew and destroyed the side of my RV. Ask them to post a weight ticket too. Tires have a weight rating. How do you know what your tires are? Well, I went across the CAT scale and it showed me my trailer was 14,000 pounds. I'm good. Great. You got 1,000 pounds here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, and 11,000 pounds on this one tire. We have seen that one before. The guy kept playing, yeah, I blew 3 of these tires before. Well, we got him on the scale. That one tire was over 1,500 pounds overweight. Everything else was underweight, but that one tire that he kept blowing. So we were able to go through and figure out where his weight was. You got to shift a lot of this weight. You're underweight overall. You just got to put it somewhere else. That's where the CAT scales and all those type of trucker scales don't give you the information that you need to disperse your weight in the RV that's going to be effective for what you're doing. Who's got a reflection? Reflections, just because of the way they're built, are notorious for being 1,000, 1,200 to 1,500 pounds overweight on the driver's side. The refrigerator is there, the stove is there, the pantry is there. You walk in the RV, every cabinet is on there where you're going to put everything. Yours is a lot harder to do because you now got to shift around where you put your weight to compensate for that. Who's got the big momentum? Who's got the $399? Yeah. We don't have crap for storage, so we can't hardly do much unless we throw it in the garage. Oh, bridges. How many of you got over a bridge? How many got over small bridges in little teeny backwoods towns? Anybody been to a campground where they had a bridge to get in? Anybody actually looked at the signs that says, don't go over this if you're this weight? Because I have. I was just a hair under though. They had a 50,000 pound weight capacity on one of the bridges that I went over. I'm 49,000 pounds. I was enough to have even the manager watching us when we drove across to go to our site. gotta watch out for those things. You get some of the backwoods towns, they didn't quite build bridges up to code. That was cousin Jethro, the inspector, and they're like, hey, here's a bottle of shine. And he's like, Okay, let's get into some of them. So your gross, TVWR, the gross vehicle weight rating. Does anybody know what theirs is on their trucks right now? Who's got a dually 1-ton? Ford? Sweet. 14,000 pounds, maximum your truck can make. Whether it's 3,500 or until you get into the commercial ones, if it's 3,500, it's 14,000 pounds. What happens if you put 15,000 pounds on that truck? That's the truck and all. You and your wife get in there, your dog's 4 fuel tanks in there. You got to take 12 generators with you, 8 cords of wood, because you're going to have a fire that's going to make NASA go, shit. You're overweight. Even though it's a big ass truck, you'd be overweight. So you got to keep the truck under 14,000 pounds. Anybody got a 1-ton dually? I always like doing that twice to see how many people are like, what the hell? Who's got the single wheels? Oh. You guys aren't 14,000 pounds, even though it's a 1-ton. Has anybody gone to the dealer and the dealer goes, what truck do you got? And you go, I got a 1-ton. Dealer goes, sweet, you're good. Anybody kick that dealer right to Jimmy? Yeah, 1-ton singles, they're not the comparable to a 1-ton dually. Most of them are 11,900 pounds. You just lost, what, 3,000 pounds off of your payload you can put on? That's where the big RVs start getting into trouble. Truck's fine, it's underweight, RV's underweight. But as soon as that RV goes on that truck, you're now overweight. What's gonna happen when you're overweight on your truck? Truck's gotta start moving more. Anybody found out what it costs to replace a motor in a newer truck? I did, that's why I got a Volvo now, because I destroyed the motor in my Ram. $55,000 is what I got quoted for a new motor to put in that Ram. Most of it's just because I put 260,000 miles on the truck in 6.5 years. Because we drive a lot. You also got the springs, the drive lines. Who's got a Ford 350? Anybody here with a 450? Great, I can only make 4 in one way. That's the 450, guys. So you're looking at 2 trucks. They're both 1-tons. Got a 450 and a 350. Which one is better if you want to have a longer RV? 350 is a better truck. But if you want to get a camper, like Sally, they've got the Grand Design Solitude, but they also have a truck camper. Which truck is better for them if they want to haul that camper? They're going to be a little bit different on there. Even though everything is the same, and everybody goes, oh, a 450 and a 350 is the same. No, they're not. The drive lines are heavy duty. The axles are heavier duty. The brakes are a little more heavy duty. Well, more heavy duty brings more weight. Those 2 trucks are not going to be the same. So you're going to do one better than the other. Seems a little bit odd. So you see the guy, oh, I got to go get a 450. Then why did you get a trailer? Because that truck's going to be better. Well, somebody said the 450s are better. Not always. Look and find out what it is that you need. All right. Who's got a 2,500? Anybody else want to win? Oh, there's 2? I've had 6 that were underweight. Every single one of them, but those 6 were overweight as soon as the trailer went on. Good statistics on that one. So when you're out there looking, you're like, man, I need this new truck. Well, I just don't want to spend $10,000. I'm going to go get a 250. What do you think is going to happen when you destroy that family of 4? You just completely take that Prius and level it. How fun do you think those lawyers are going to do? Because as soon as they go, that's a 2,500? Jackpot! Oh yeah, they don't even have to run the weights on there. It's a 99% chance you are overweight when you have an RV on there. Okay, where do you find it? Anybody ever looked at the door sticker? So when you're looking at your door sticker, this one's a little bit harder to see on here. You're gonna see what your total weight of that truck. That's everything on it. That's when you put fuel in there. You put the big tires on there. That's gonna count against it. The wife's in there, the girlfriend's in there. They're fighting in the back seat. You got 12 dogs in there chowing on the cat that you gotta take as well. That's added weight. The RV, when it goes on there, That's that weight. It'll also tell you what your axles are. Find out what all that information is, what you really need to know. Combined. Anybody know what the combined gross vehicle weight is? That's everything. That's what the truck can carry, what your trailer can carry. Anybody know where to find that? Those are a little bit harder to do. Not many of the trucks will have a sticker by the weight that will actually say what your combined is. Some of the newer ones are getting that way. They'll have it on there. But you need to call up the manufacturer. Call Ford, call Chevy, Dodge. Get a hold of a dealer if you can. Give them your VIN number. We'll go over some printouts on here. A 1-ton truck is not the same as an identical 1-ton truck sitting right next to it. Find out what your truck is, because you may not have the same motor as the guy next to you. At your trailer, the trailer vehicle weight, where do you find that? The little sticker on the driver's side. It's on a 5th wheel. As the cap's coming down, it's usually right there. Find out what it is. Why is that really important? It's going to tell you what the max weight of that trailer can be. That is what your legal max weight can be. Anybody gone to a dealer and put 8,000-pound axles on there and had your 7,000s taken off? Ask them to print you a new sticker that shows you now have a more beefy suspension. They won't do it. You get a hold of Grand Design and go, hey, I put 8,000-pound axles under here. Can you adjust my sticker? Nope. They won't do it. You get it from the factory. I want 8,000-pound axles instead of 7,000. That sticker is then going to show 8,000 pounds capacities that are on there, but they won't redo it once it's done. Like you tear off, you go to MoRide, you get the best independent suspension that you can. It's awesome, it's wonderful. That sticker is going to stay the same. Where it comes in really handy is find out what it should say for your axle weight, because it's going to tell you on that. That'll come in when we get to the axles. You'll be able to find that out a little bit more. Find out what your axle weight is. Because that's the next slide. Anybody crawled under their RV? Sucks, doesn't it? We ain't 12 years old. You can't do the and just jump right up again. No. You're down there, honey, bring me the tea and some coffee and a pillow. You get on the ground, we're there for a while, all right? Some of us are not skinny, right? It takes a little bit to get this sexiness off the ground. Crawl under. There's going to be a sticker on that axle from the manufacturer. It's going to say what that axle is rated for. I think it was a quartzite one. We found one where the RV should have 7,000-pound axles on it, but the sticker on the tag was 5,600 pounds. Somewhere it went haywire and they got the wrong axles under that trailer. They were able to go to Grand Design and they were able to get new axles for it because, whoops, they had a legitimate reason if something went haywire. Hey, we're good, but that should have been found right off the bat. Crawl underneath your RV out here. Probably not right now. You might want to do it a little bit in the morning, in the evening. That ground's a little warm. Find out what their axles should actually be. So your axles, 7,000 pounds. Great, you can put 7,000 pounds anywhere in that axle, right? Nope. That axle can hold a total of 7,000 pounds. Each one of the hubs on the end, 3,500 pounds. That's where the one guy I was telling you where his was over. That one hub was now extremely overweight. Overweight on the tire, overweight on the spring, overweight on the hanger. So all of a sudden he's going down the freeway and that tire goes, I'm done, takes off. Who's to blame? Who put the weight on there? Find out what your weights are, because it's your responsibility to know that. The old, I didn't know. That doesn't work when things go south. Those lawyers get involved. Well, they're bloodsuckers. Anybody in here a lawyer? Great. Them blood-sucking leeches. We did have a lawyer at the last one on there, and he goes, I don't do that. And I'm like, well, you're probably not that good then. So find out what those weights are. Now the one that everybody loves. Who's heard of a China bomb? The China bomb tires. Oh my God, they're incredible. Those things are going to blow up. They're going to kill the world. Somebody in Ethiopia is going to get hit by a chunk of rubber. I put 32,000 miles on a set of China bombs. Knew what our weights were. Knew what the pressure is. took care of them, rotated the tires, balanced them. Your tire is just as important as everything else, but it's one of the things most people do not actually look at. What's your tire rating for weight? Has anybody looked at on their tires? Who's actually looked on theirs? What's your weight for your tire? Nobody wants to say it.
I've looked at it, every rated, I think it was 33, 35, but I don't remember. I looked to see, and say, hey, what do we got under here? Yeah, that's appropriate. But I don't remember, it was in that 35 area.
Yeah. So look those things up. If you got 7,000 pounds sitting on that axle, 3,500 each side, if your tire is only rated for 3,400, you're overweight on your tire. What's going to happen when it blows? Damage gets done, the insurance company goes, oh Christ, he just totaled out a $50,000 RV, the side guy, we're going to pay out for this. Wait a second, let's put him across the scale real quick. Oh, you're overweight, you're no longer covered. Now you're responsible for doing it. Anybody had that happen to them? Yeah, don't let that happen to you, because those surprises, that's going to hurt the pocketbook. So how do you find it? Get down and look at your tires. It will tell you how much weight you should put on the tire as a maximum load on there. Take a guess what my truck maximum tire weight is on the rear tires. 5,775 pounds each tire. I have 8 of them. I can blow 7 tires and still be underweight. Could be funny as hell running down the freeway. You know, I might as well look out the window. But I'm way underweight on that. Know what those are. That's going to be very important when things go south, because they're going to start asking questions about it. We haven't put it on here. Somebody did mention that the last one for anybody upgraded their rims. Got them nice fancy spinners and everything on there. Those have a weight rating on them as well as a PSI rating. Make sure what you're putting on the RV is going to be comparable to it. Anybody got one of the, let's say a 38-foot Solitude? Probably got tires on there and rims that are rated for 80 PSI. What's going to happen if you put those on the 45-foot Momentum? That should be 110 pounds. And somebody puts new tires on there and they put 110 pounds on there and then loads up their Momentum. What's going to happen to that rim? That all hell's going to break loose when you go down the freeway, because that rim's going to leave you. PSI by weight. Anybody know what your PSI should be by weight according to the tire? Not many people do. They look at that sticker and go, well, it says 110 pounds max. I'm going to put 110 pounds in there and an extra 5 for safekeeping. Every tire out there has a manufacturer's weight chart. Over by our booth, we have 3 of them out there for the Salins, the Goodyear Endurance, that everybody goes, oh my God, these are fabulous. I'll get into those ones. The Salins, Les Schwab. Anybody been to a Les Schwab? Very popular tires, the Salins. I got the 14 plies. I can run over a railroad spike without popping that tire. Bullshit. Michelin's. I've got the weight chart over there. Just because it's 110 pounds max doesn't mean that's what your weight should be. If you have 80 pounds on there, you can have a lower weight. You don't need it that pressure. All those blowouts, what a blowout happens is because there's too much pressure for whatever the conditions were. Could be too much air, could be too much weight. Could be a reflection where one side of it is perfectly fine, but the other side's 1,500 pounds difference. So on those RVs, you probably want to have a different pressure one side to the other. You've got a lot more weight on that other side. Find out what your weight is. That's where CAT scales cannot give you that information, because it's going to tell you your entire trailer. It's not going to tell you what each one of those tires are. So you go, oh, I got 14,000 pounds in my trailer. Great. 14 divided by 4. This is what my weight is. Life is great. No. 60% of your weight is on that side of the trailer. So you need to adjust for that. Okay. What tires? Okay, we were talking about the Salins that are wonderful tires. Everybody loves those. Who follows me on Facebook? On Cool RV Everything. Yeah. He's like, do I raise my hand? Get on there and look at a post about a month and a half, 2 months ago. got to our stop and went to one of the Love's truck stop areas where it has an RV park. We're gonna try this out. So we get there, I do my post check every morning, walk around, check everything, no big deal. I get there that afternoon, as I'm walking around, I stop by the front tire. Because right off the bead from the rim, about a 3-inch gash in that tire. I could put my key a 1/4 of an inch into my tire. $1,800 later, I left Discount Tires with 7 brand new tires. Those tires are only 2 years old. Who's got a triple axle? Are we the only ones? Oh, we're screwed, dude. The more axles you got, when you turn, the more you're gonna scrub your tires. Toy haulers with triple axles or the big Luxes that have the quad axles, you're full-time driving around the country, 2 years is about all you're gonna get out of those tires. Because you're constantly rubbing the tires on the ground when you turn, you're gonna destroy those tires. You start getting cracks in there, you have normal pressure, well, what's gonna happen? That tire's not as strong as it was anymore. Those tires over pressure and they blow, and somebody goes, oh my God, the tire's crap. Nope, not necessarily. Could be the RV, could be the situation. Anybody from Colorado? Right on. Colorado's way up high. Your air pressure at 8,000 feet is going to be much different than your air pressure in Sacramento. You're going up and over mountains, if you're doing quick ones, you could have it different. Anybody leave theirs at 100 PSI. All of a sudden you start climbing. Everybody take a bag of chips from the store. You buy it when you get up on the mountain when you're going camping, that bag is ready to blow. And you always look at the kids. What do you think happened to your tire? As you go in that elevation, that tire starts building up more pressure. And then it has a defect in that tire, and it blows, and everybody goes, oh, the tire, it was bad. Well, you should have dropped your pressure down when you're going. It's a little harder when you are full-time, like we are. You're going up and over mountains. When I leave here, we're going back to Oregon, we get done with that one, we hit Colorado and Indiana. We have to go completely up and over the mountain. And then we hit that 1,800 miles of East Coast. Same cornfield. Their mountain, this top. Don't have to worry about tire pressure out there. When all these people are talking, the tires blew, look where they live. If they're always on that flat land, that may not be an issue. But when you're going up and over mountains, tire pressure is going to be different. And you go back to your weight chart. Anybody want to guess what I run PSI in my tires on the trailer? Max is 110 pounds.
85.
I run 85. I got 6 tires. At 100 PSI, that's probably rated for around 30,000 pounds. I'm not carrying 30,000 pounds. Unless I'm going to the Oregon route. I'm close. Anybody sees those pictures? Oh yeah, 13-foot garage is not big enough to go to the Oregon route. Check what your tire pressures need to be for where you're going. Okay, we're getting close. This is where we like having fun with it. Oh, that's a little hard to see here. So we're gonna pick on people. Where's my Ram owners? Right on. How about Ford owners? Oh, Chevy. My bad. You know what Chevrolet stands for? Can hear every valve and lifter. How many of them sayings are there for Fords? First on race day, found on road dead, driver returned on foot, an effed over rebuilt Dodge. That's always my favorite word. Yeah, fix or repair daily. How about Ram? You can't dodge it, ram it. All right. Who's got a 1-ton dually Ram? Oh, he's like, you know what motor you got in there?
5.7.
5.7?
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, I was gonna say you're overweight. All right, so you got 3 trucks. They're all sitting in line. Every one of them is a 2023 Ram 3500 4-door quad cab, long bed, dually. Same paint, everything. Even the dent on the windshield is identical to it. Okay, one of the trucks though has a 6.7 inline 6 turbo diesel with a 6-speed 68 transmission and 373 gears. How much of a fifth wheel can they pull? No guesses?
22.
How much?
22.
22? 19,670 pounds is your max weight you can put on a fifth wheel trailer. However, you got a little bit more money. So remember this when you're going to the dealership and you go, I want that truck. And they go, $130,000. And you're like, shit. I want that one with the $90,000 price tag. Could be a reason. That might be the truck you're buying at $90,000. Because the same motor, the 6.7 liter Coven-Gerber diesel with the 6-8 transmission, only you paid a little bit more to get 410 gears. Anybody not know what 410 gears are? Great.
Rear diff.
They're what?
Rear diff.
Yep, your rear differential. That's down there, that big oval thing right between your tires. Actually, different gears. That's going to give you a whole lot of power because now you can haul 21,970 pounds, even though your truck's the same. However, you're also a wagon master of Texas and you got a lot of money because you go big in Texas. So you buy the ultimate truck. You go in there and go, that truck's 120,000, I'm going to give you 140,000. Make it better. And then they go, crap, the guy from California outdid me. He's like, damn it. So that one, you got the 6.7 turbo diesel, but you paid the extra $5,000 to get the high output. Anybody heard of an ICE transmission? Oh yeah, you got the money, you put that bigger transmission in there. And you went to the 410 gears, okay? So the lowball truck was 19,970 pounds. Well, now you got the bucks. You are now pulling 34,010 pounds. Over a 14,000 pound difference for identical trucks. So when you're on the dealership lot and you're looking at the trucks, two of them are sitting next to each other. One of them is significantly cheaper. There's probably a reason for that. Ask them for the numbers. Because if you want to haul a Lux 45-foot fifth wheel, it's not 20,000 pounds that a Momentum is. It's around 28,000 pounds. Your 19,000 pound towing truck that you wanted to save a few bucks on is severely underweight. Or you go to what I did, you get a Volvo. Anybody guess what my combined weight rating is on that truck? For everything. Truck, trailer, the toilet. Actually do have a toilet in there. Never used it. Wait till a camp crawl. I have a really cool drink that's going to be funny as hell that probably nobody's going to drink. Mine's 80,000 pounds. Who knows their pin weight? Think you guess what mine is. This tell you why I went so big. I never have to upgrade again, no matter what I get. My pin weight is 38,000 pounds. I can put my whole RV twice over on the truck. And most RVs out here, I can put their RV in the truck and be very underweight. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It was cheaper to buy that truck than the new one. And I got a refrigerator, a toilet, everything in it. Actually, that was a requirement to make it in. I've never used it. It's one of the little handheld ones in there, so people go, hey, here's my shitter. And they're like, oh my God. Okay, I'll give you a hint because I can't get to this one. So that toilet is going to be my camp hall drink. Well, you seen those little kegs that you can get? I am going to take that toilet apart. I'm going to put that keg in the toilet, and where the little cap is, where it would drain out, that's going to be the fun. Just to see how many people, I'm going to tell them, hey, you want a shitty drink?
If you don't do that in Texas, you're not invited back ever.
I'm like,
You've got to do that.
I will wear a thong while I do it. I'm just saying, ain't going to be pretty either way.
Oh, Lord.
Weights are very, very important, and it's your responsibility to know what they are. Who's gone to that dealer and just went in there and said, this is what I got, and took their word for everything? I mean, we all know dealers are really honest, right? Is it their responsibility to tell you what you can and can't do? It's their job to sell you a trailer. That's what they do. That's why they are in sales. They are not in service. Because service people go, they sold him this damn trailer, it's not going to work, we got to deal with him in 6 months and he's going to be pissed because he said it was fine. The salesman's job is to sell you that trailer. That's all they're going to do. Not their job to know it. So know what they are. If you really want to have fun, go into the dealership knowing all those numbers. And when you go, hey, well, my truck, oh, you got a one-time fine. Why? What? How do you know my truck is fine? Well, it's a one-time. Really? Pull out that slip. Well, this truck here can do this one here can do this, and all of a sudden they're going, probably should try and bullshit these people. But they're already did their homework. Know what they are. Any questions you guys got? Yes, sir.
Can you explain tongue weight to me,
Tongue weight was kind of
please? Okay.
So your tongue weight is the amount of weight you can put on the truck. So when we do the weighing that we're going to do tomorrow, all we want is your truck to come across, because we have to find out what just your truck is. Then when you leave on Sunday, you're going to be hooked up. We're going to have the truck in the RV. We're going to be able to see how much more weight got put onto that truck. That'll tell us what your tongue weight is. We can then take your total weight, remove the truck out of it. We can find out what your RV weighs by itself. That's the best way you're going to be able to find out for what that is. Because you look at the sticker and it might go, oh, you can carry 3,800 pounds. Well, great. How much weight are you actually putting on that truck? Are you putting 3,600 or 4,800 pounds? So we got to have that truck so we can figure out what that weight is.